Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Indian Dev. I am Ayush and I'm back again with the second part of the WhatsApp clone series. So as you can see on my screen that in this video, like as you know from the thumbnail or maybe from the title, that in this part we will be we will be definitely working on the MongoDB stuff. We will be working on the Node.js part and the database designing part. So yes, this is the second part, and like if you haven't watched the first part of this WhatsApp clone series, then you can go back to the series and to the very first video of this series, that is about the front end design that you can see on the screen. That we are having the chat list, we are having the this landing page. So if I can click on this part, like if I just wanted to chat with this user, that is Ayush Kulshrestha, then I just need to click over this user and I can have the chat with this person. And like there is a lot of features are there, like we are having this emoji picker from where I can pick any of the emojis. Like yes, I can keep it here and I can write yes. So like this kind of stuff that we have just built in the last video, so you guys can go to that video and just develop this amazing UI. And that is totally created with the React hooks and the functional approach. So yes, you can create this amazing UI from the first part, and if you are good with that first part, then you can continue with this video. And yes, and if you are totally interested in the backend stuff, then you can continue from here. So before jumping onto the video, I just wanted to make sure that if you guys haven't subscribed to my this YouTube channel, The Indian Dev, then please make sure to subscribe, because here like you can see that I'm posting a lot of projects. So yes, like if you have already subscribed and you're using the Instagram on the daily basis, then you guys can definitely follow me over the Instagram. My Instagram handle is again The Indian Dev, and you can find like all the tech related content or the technological posts over there. So yes, you can follow me over there. Now without wasting the time, we can jump onto this. This is called as the draw.io application on the web. So this is not a paid promotion of this tool, but I simply love this tool very much, because of anytime if I'm stuck in any of the situation, or if I'm solving any of the problem, or maybe the database design, then I simply open this and I simply start scratching my head with this application. So as we are building the WhatsApp database design, and just to clarify that this is going to be very beginner friendly, so we will not be going into very much in detail. So let's start. For this WhatsApp clone, we will be definitely using the MongoDB, as this is the MERN stack based WhatsApp clone. So we will be using MongoDB, we will be using Node.js for the backend stuff, and the Express.js. So get ready for that. Now we can think of the collections in the database of this WhatsApp clone. So let me get back to the screen. So if you can see on the screen, then you will see that we are having this chat list, we are having messages, we are having the communication chats in between these users. So if I just wanted to identify the basic schema or the most important collection for this database, that can be the user database, because if I'm logging into the WhatsApp, then I'm at the end or at the very beginning, I am the user for that application. So if we are building any of the chat application, any of the social media application, then in that case the user entity is the very basic one. So we can have the user schema in the database. We can have if I just wanted to list out the collections over here. So the very first collection is user collection, users we will be having. And first thing is users. Now the second thing can be the communication channel in between these users. So if you can see that if this is the user one, which is the logged in user, and if this user one wants to have a chat with Zone Appleseed, then in that case they are creating some kind of channel in between these two users. Like if I talk about the group chat, then there is a that is definitely a channel in which like around 10, 20 or whatever the number of users are there in that group chat, they have like connected in a single channel. That's how they have created a group chat. But now like we will be going with one-on-one chat, but still the collection, the channel collection should be there. So I can keep it as channels. So the channels are here. Channels are here, and now the next thing that I can see on my screen is the messages, like hey man, hey what's up. All of this stuff is going to be in the messages collection. So the third one can be messages. So that's how we have identified the collections in the database. Like there can be a lot of things, like if you have a look on the real-time WhatsApp, then you will see that like a lot of things are going over there. Like there is video call, there is voice call, there is stories. But as of now with our WhatsApp clone, we are having this much of stuff, like the contact list or the channel list, the user and the messages. So we'll be moving forward with this, and now we can have the like schema design for each collection. So like with having the minimal stick schema, I'll be copying this like for user schema. For the user schema, if I just wanted to define the properties, so for the very first property is name of the user. The second property can be like the phone number, as this is WhatsApp, so phone number will be the primary thing, or we cannot have the like duplicate phone numbers in the database of the user. And the next thing can be profile pic. So profile pic will be the like next important thing. And other than that, we can have the password of the user. Like we will not be working with the OTP stuff, because like we are not going in that part. Maybe in the future we can work with some of the application which is working with OTP. But as of now, the name is there, the phone number is there, the profile pic is there, and the password is there. The next thing that we can have is the added on key. So like this is my approach. Like whenever I have any of the collection, then I have this key, like I have this key added on, which is like responsible like when this particular user like just signed up for our system. So that's how we have like defined the minimalistic user schema. So I can write here as user schema. User schema is there. Now the next thing we can have is like the second thing can be the channel, and the third thing can be the messages. So I can keep this stuff here, and it is here. So now we can create the channel schema. So in the channel, like we can analyze that in the channel we are having like the sender and the receiver, and this is just for the one-to-one chat. And if I just wanted to work with the group chat part, then in that case like let's discuss that here. We'll be having like we can keep this as sender 1, sender 2, but this is not the like optimal way of doing this, because like we can have multiple senders, multiple receivers, and again the naming convention is not good as well. So what I'll be keeping is as user, and this user will be the array of the users. So the advantage of keeping the users in the array is that like in the future we can have a lot of users in a single channel, and that is again the functionality of this group chat. And in the users, what we will be having, the underscore id that we will be receiving from the MongoDB, like I can keep it here, underscore ID, the name of the user, the profile pic of the user. So in the users we will be having the array which is having underscore ID, name, and the profile pic property. Added on will be there, and other than that what we can have is like if I just wanted to keep track of this channel and the added on is there, we can keep the last message because we need to show that last message here. And now we are not working with the SQL, so that we can like just make the join in between the messages and the collection. So like for the MongoDB like stuff, what we can have is last text, so that we can like list that in the like show that in the list. So last text can be there, or last text time. So these two things that we are dependent on the message schema. So let's see how we can minimize this for like our initial project. So this is message schema. Now in the message schema, if I just wanted to analyze like what we can have, then we will definitely having the sender ID. Definitely we will be having the sender ID, we will be having the receiver ID. I'm not keeping the like mini model of any of the user, because if we are like working with a single chat or one-to-one chat, then in that case we will not be having like the issue with the naming and the profile pic, because if the sender is this one, yeah, so sender is this one, then sender ID will be there, receiver ID will be there, and we can map that data from the channels data. And the next thing is can be the message type, because in the future we can have multiple message type, and according to that we need to show the like we need to update the UI as well. So that's how like we will be keeping the message type. As of now I can have the key next, or we can say the text description, like this particular text will be going to the text key. So we are having the text here, added on is there. So that's how we can have the message schema. Now the thing is like the advantage of MongoDB is that if we are having such kind of schema, and in future we are having like some more requirement, like I can have like the video, the images, or some other stuff in the message schema, then I can like again add the property in this schema, and I will be good to go. So yes, that's how we design this schema for database design of WhatsApp clone. We are having three collections: users, channels, messages. User schema is there, channel schema is there, message schema is there. One more optimization, or like just for the easy uses in the API section, what we can do is like this last text and the last text time. What I just wanted to do is, instead of this last text or last time, what I can do is I can keep the key as messages in this channel, and in this like messages I can keep the message schema. Okay, so we are having the users and the messages, so that if I just wanted to like get the list of this channel list, then in that case I can simply show this last text and the last text time from the messages. We need not to do any additional work for that reference, and that's how we can eliminate this message schema from the DB for now. Like and if we are building a big system, then we need to have the thorough mindset, like what else can be done here, like how we can optimize this like last text thing. So yes, now I think we are good to go with the system. And like as we all know, in the last section we were working with this structure, and in this structure, as you can see that like we are having, this is the very basic structure that we just built in the last section. And in the source part we are having the components, we are having all the stuff. Now the thing is, as we are working on the back end, so instead of creating any other repository, I just wanted to create another repository or another folder inside this, not in the source. I just wanted to create a, if I just can go to the finder, reveal in the finder. So yeah, the finder is here. Now here I just wanted to create a new folder as client, so that I can keep the code or keep the code of this client site into the client folder. I just wanted to move it inside the client folder, so that is under client as of now. And now what we can have is we can have another folder as server. So inside that we can initiate our Node.js project, and yes, like that's how we can do it. Now the next thing is defining the server part. So for that, like for the server part, I'll be going with like initiating the project. Like if I just wanted to go inside, like if you can have a look in my terminal, then you can see that I am just going inside cd server, and here I'm writing npm init, so that it will like initiate the Node.js project. The process why I'm doing this from the basic, or from the from very beginning, because I haven't created any of the Node.js based project in this on this channel. That's why we will be like creating the Node.js project from the very beginning. Entry point can be like server.js. I'll be creating the server.js file. Test command I don't want. Git repository I'll add it later. Keywords author definitely Ayush K. Yes, so that's okay. And now we are having this package.json file in our project, or in the Node.js project. Now we are having few libraries that we need to use in this server part, because we'll like Node.js is the runtime environment that we will be working with, and other than that we will be working with Mongoose, that is the connection library for MongoDB. We will be working with the Express.js. We will be definitely working with like some of the libraries like cores, the body parser, the compression. Each of them is having their own advantages. So as of now, what I'll do is I'll be simply like installing those libraries initially, and then after we can jump onto the discussion that how, what's the use of these libraries. Like in the very beginning, I'll be installing, like if you can see on the screen, npm install express. Express is the one that I'll be installing. Mongoose is the one that I'll be using for MongoDB stuff. Moment is there to to play around with the dates and the date formats. The course is there to enable the course. Compression is there to compress the data so that it can move faster in the network calls. The body parser will be there. So that we can parse the data that we are receiving from the client end. And the next thing can be Babel, because we will be working with the new JavaScript feature, like the modern JavaScript feature, like import, export, classes. So that's why I think that we need to have Babel and the Babel CLI in the system. And the next thing that Babel requires is Babel preset, node8, and -- save, so that we can have these things in the package.json file. So let these, a lot of libraries are there, and all these libraries you can find on the GitHub repository itself of the backend, and you will see the uses of each of the things. So yes, let it install, and once it's installed I'll be back soon. So now if you can have a look on the screen, that all the required libraries has been installed in the system, and now we can definitely proceed with the Node.js stuff. So let me open this drawer, and here, as we have mentioned in the package.json file, let me minimize this. That one of the things that you can see, that all the libraries has been installed in the system. And as we have defined that our main file is server.js file, so I'll be creating a file here as server.js. So yes, server.js is here. package.json is the one that I can close as of now. And the next thing is, like in the server.js, what we can do is, let me close this as well. I'll be import the application from express. So we will be creating the express application, and maybe this is the express application. I can define it as app. And now the next thing is, as we are using the express, I just need to create the express application. So I'll be creating an application equals to new app, awp app is here. That's how I have created the express application. The express function is the top level function exported by express module. So now we have this express application, and I can create a method as const start the server, start server, that will be responsible for starting our server, and I'll call it from this file. Okay, so that's the stuff, or we can say that's the very basic stuff. And inside this, like server, start server, what I'll be doing is, maybe like I can have the promise.all. And like, why I'm using promise.all, because before starting the server, we can have, like, we can create the database connection, and if we are working with any of the queues or any of the other related stuff, and that we just wanted to initiate just before starting our application or just starting our server, so we can have that stuff here. Like if I just wanted to have db connection code here, like db connection code here, then in that case I can keep that db connection code inside this. Other than that, what I can do is, what I can do is the db connection, the queue connection, maybe some cron jobs or anything, like whatever I just wanted to have. Initially I will be having the db connection here, and let's keep it like this, promise.all. And like once that promise is resolved, like all of the things has been completed, then in that case what I will be doing is, so for this server, if I just want the db connection to be here, like if I just have something like const connect to db, maybe connect db method, that is as of now doing nothing. What I can do is, I can simply write it here as connect db. So once the db connection is completed, then only we will get the callback over here. And from here, what I can do is, I can simply write app.listen, and I need to define the port number here. So for the port number, I can keep it as like this. Port can be 3001, as like our React application is working on port number 3000, so I'll be going with port number 3001. And like once we have like the application listening on any port, then I can simply console.log. In the console.log, I can simply write server started on port, and we can have the port number, that is port. So that's how, like once the database connection is there, we can start our Node.js application or the Express app, and we will like define that yes, this application has been started on this port. Now the next thing is, or the basic thing we can keep is, like I can create a folder that is specific for db connection, and inside this folder I can have the file index, and inside this index.js file, what I can do is, I can simply have the connection code, and for the connection I'm using this like mongoose library, and I can have my, like, let me close this, const maybe the db connection URL. So for the database, we are having like two approaches. One thing is, we can have the MongoDB installed in our system, and we can just connect to that part like using mongodb:// localhost, colon 27017 or whatever, like at whatever port your database is running. That's how we can like connect to the local database, and inside this I can have the test db. So that's how like we can have any of the db connection url that we can work with. And here I can have this method, that is connect to db, and this connect to db is responsible for returning the connection or maybe creating the connection for mongoose. So I can simply write mongoose dot connect, and inside this connect method we can have the URI, the URL string. So db connection URL is there, and other than this we can have a lot of options. So the default options that I'll be using is simply this. So you can have a look. I just wanted to make my keep a collection like connection alive, auto reconnect is true, pool size, and some other stuff is there. So I'll be using these options here, and from this I'll be returning this mongoose.connect, because this mongoose.connect is again a promise, and once that is resolved we can like go with the app listening. So here I need to just import the connect db from db connection, and that is done. db connection, from the db connection I just need to export this, export default, and the name is connect db. The connect db is here. Now on that note, like this is pretty much clear, and once like there is a call in this method, so I just wanted to keep that log in the like console, that if db is trying to connect then we will get this notification over here. And meanwhile like we have imported this as well. Now we can go to that part as well. So it's connected now. So if I just wanted to run this application, like as we are using import and all the like new stuff with like this application, so like to start this application we will definitely need the variable that we just installed. So I am just like I just copied the start command, that is like it is going under this variable CLI, and inside this variable CLI it is setting the like preset to no date, and then after it is executing the server.js. So if I just wanted to execute this script and npm start, now let's see like how it's gonna behave. So it should go to this server.js, and inside the server.js we are calling server start server, and from here we are connecting to the database. Let's see what is happening over here. Okay, so there is an error, and here you can see okay, it is saying connect db. Okay, so we are having the duplicate definition of this. Connect db is again here. Now it is clear. So if I just wanted to run it again, the start script, to check that if the database is or the everything that we just created is working or not. So now like it is starting the server again. Let's wait for that. Meanwhile, one thing I can do is I can have my like MongoDB string, and later on in this video I'll show you guys that what is the other way just to start. Okay, so here you can see that the DB is trying to connect and some of the warnings are there, but I hope that DB will not connect, because in terms of MongoDB it will be looking at this port, and as of now no local server is running over there. So for this, like I am having the connection URL for a remote host or the remote server, so I can simply like npm start. Now let's see with the new connection URL if that's gonna connect or not, because that is the connection URL for a remote hosted MongoDB instance that is again free from MongoDB Atlas. So if you just wanted to create a MongoDB Atlas, you just need to go to the MongoDB Atlas, and there you will find the method to have a free connection or free database over the cloud, so you need not to worry about the setting up this particular part in your local. So you can simply go to this MongoDB Atlas and you can try it for free. You just need to create an account and the free server will be there for you, so you can use that. Now if I can go back here and if I just wanted to check, okay, so one thing that I can identify, that DB was trying to connect at this time, and after that server started on this port. So let's see. Okay, so the server is started on this port and this port is already occupied. I can go with 3005, and if I just wanted to start it again, now I think that this thing will be improved or rectified. The server should start. The next thing we can have is we can create the routes for this application. So for that routes, I am just creating the folder as routes. So now here you can see that database connection was successful. Then only the application started listening on this port, and the console we have received in the console window itself. Other than the routes, what I just wanted to do is, as if you remember, in the package.json file we are having a lot of dependencies, cores and body parser and the compression. So I just wanted to configure this express application. So I'll be creating a file config that will be responsible, directory that will be responsible for configuring your index.js definitely. So inside this index.js, what we will be having is, we will be doing the configuration for the express application. For that I will be importing all the stuff that I just installed. So body parser is the one, compression is the one. So all these things I will be applying to the, I can simply write a function const configure express app, and this function will be receiving the application, the express application that we just created. And once it's received, what it will be doing, it will be applying all the stuff, all the related libraries to this. So now here you can see that for this application we have applied the body parser for all type of request, the XML URL encoded and the application JSON. So this is the basic thing, that's how you will receive the JSON structure in your request. And this compression is again for compressing the data while having the network travel, and this is for enabling the cores. Each thing you can read about in detail on the web itself, or let me know if you are confused in between any of this stuff. I'll make sure that you will have the correct resource, and for that you can definitely communicate with me over Instagram. Now I can import that stuff, that is configure express app from config, and what I just need to do is I just need to configure this app. This is application. Now it's done. Now we are having this express application, we have configured everything, body parsing, we have applied the cores, now we are having all the things set it up, and now we can simply work with the routes itself. And routes, if anyone is confused with the routes, then in that manner routes are responsible for the API endpoints. So I'll be creating a new file that is for index.js inside the routes, so that we can have the routes here as well. And for that routes similar to the this config, I can have the method apply routes, and inside this apply routes method, let me export it as well. Export default the apply routes method, and this apply routes method I can import inside the server.js. Apply routes from the routes, and this I just wanted to use once like our server is started. What I can do is I can apply the routes to the application. Now like the routes has been applied, I can simply go to the routes file, and inside this routes file I can create the very first API of our WhatsApp clone, that can be the get API. And this get API I can have at the slash, and here I'll be receiving the request and the response parameters. And for the like very basic API endpoint, that is simple slash, I just wanted to send that API is running fine. Now let's restart the server and let's see if there is any error or not. So that's how like you can analyze like what we have done inside the server. We are having this server.js file where all the server related stuff is there. We are creating the server, we are applying the configuration, and once the server is started we are applying the routes to that application. And inside the routes, like inside the routes, we just created a very first route, that is slash. And now if I can go to like localhost 3005 slash, or maybe without slash, and if I just like press enter, then you will see that our API is running absolutely fine. And that's coming from this endpoint itself. Like if I just wanted to write it here, like this video and subscribe to the Indian Dev, then that case, and if I just wanted to restart this, then in that case you will see that on this API endpoint you will be receiving this string. And that's what I just wanted to say to you guys, that if you are like enjoying this video, if you are learning anything from this video, then please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Indian Dev, so that I can create like similar kind of videos. So database is connected, server started, and if I just refresh over here, then you will see that like this video and subscribe to the Indian Dev. That means that our application is ready to develop. Now we can identify the APIs. So I'm just keep like creating the list of the APIs over here. Like first API we can have create user one. We can have login user, just to log in into the system. The next thing is channel creation, because we need to create the channel. Search user, because before creating this channel we need to search for a user to have the to have a channel between them. And to fetch this list we can have the channel list API. And other than this that I can think of is search user is there, login is there, channel is there. Now the next thing is just to send messages, we will have send message API. So these are the very basic or the minimalistic required APIs. Like other than that there can be a lot of APIs for a lot of works. Like in the real-time WhatsApp we are having the like scene, red, or some kind of stuff is there. So we are not going with that. These are the very basic things. And let me know in the comments like if you think that any other API you will need in this application. So we will start like working with this. So I'm like again defining the routes for each. For creating the user, the API will be of post type because we are posting the data, and I'll name this as user. So this is for create user. And the next thing that is about login. For login I'll make it post and keep it like this, login. And the next thing is creating a channel. So for that I'll keep it as post type of API, channel. And the next thing is search user. So for search user we can keep it as get kind of API, search user. The next thing is channel list. So we need to fetch the channel list. For that the API will be of get type. Search user is there. and the last API is for sending the messages. So for sending the messages, we can have that as the post API. Post API. So now we are good to go with the like designing part of these APIs, and now we can work on the business logic of these APIs. So let's see like how we can like play around with these APIs, and I hope you will enjoy the API definition as well. So as you can see that we have developed all the we haven't developed that, but we have designed all the database for this mini WhatsApp clone and all the API definitions that we will require in our front end. So these API definitions are here, and now in the next video we can definitely work on the business logic of these APIs, like how we will be creating the user, how we will be logging the user into the system, how we will be creating the channel, and that's so on. We will be working on the business logic, and then after we will be integrating these APIs to the front end, and we can see that how efficiently we can work with the API integration in React as well. So till then, if you have learned any of the concepts from this video, or if you haven't if you have got some sort of idea of DB design, then please make sure to hit the like button on this video, because I'm just setting the target for this video to 60 likes. So once the 60 likes are completed, then after I'll be posting the next video that is about its business logic, and that is again recorded in the recorded state. So once 60 likes are there, then I can definitely post that video. I hope I'll be posting the video tomorrow, because you will like this video. And other than that, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Thank you very much.